Hey guys, what's up? In this video, I'm going to be doing a story time on how I sold cookie dough to a child predator. Yeah, pretty weird, right? But anyways, if you do like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, all that stuff. But yeah, anyways guys, let's just get started. So, I want to say back to like 5th grade, I had a cookie dough like thing going on at my school. And I always like involve myself in those. Like I really like to do that. My grandma always like, kind of made me. So I was like, okay, well, let's do that. So it's a Saturday afternoon. I'm with my friend because he came over. We weren't planning on selling it together, but just to hang out, So he comes over. And I'm like, why don't we sell cookie dough or whatever? And he was like, okay. I tell my grandma, I'm like, we're gonna go outside, we're gonna go sell cookie dough, do all that. And she's like, all right. So now she's like, make sure to go check the mail first. So then me and my friend are walking outside, go to look in the mailbox, and there's like no bills, nothing important, but there is a pamphlet. I'm like, what the fuck? I've never gotten like one of these before, and I open it and it's like, the state of Arizona, like all this like stuff. I open it and it was like, and it says there's a registered sex offender in your area. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm about to go sell cookie dough. Like, let's, like, I'm like, whoa. If you have someone with criminal charges in your area, this like city that you're in, they will send you from door to door pamphlets about this person. It's usually with sex offenders, pedophiles, like those type of people. I don't know about anything else. And this is our first time ever getting one. I'm not like in a ghetto area, I'm in like a fine, middle class area, like nothing goes on. And then we get this. And I remember thinking like, whoa, like what the hell? And the house that this person moved into was a block in front of me because they moved into the area, and they want to alert everyone else, which is good, like, that's just good to know. So then, me being the idiotic, unintelligent, stupid little, 5th grader I was like, oh my god, like, we need to hit this house. Like, we need to go to this house to try and sell cookie dough. And my friend kind of looked at me like, I mean, if you want to die, like, that's fine. And I'm like, well, are you going to go with me? And he's like, sure. But you're, like, going to be the one selling it. And I'm like, yeah. And I remember thinking, like, whoa, am I really about to do this? Like, I'm about to go sell cookie dough to a potential, well, to a sex offender. Not a potential, they were. Like, they were a sex offender. The pamphlet said it. And then it gives you a picture of their mugshot, their exact address, their name, their, like, all that stuff. Like, they really just give their information to everyone. But it's also for safety reasons. So anyways, we're walking down. I don't even go inside to give my grandma the mail. Like, I'm holding onto this pamphlet because it had the address on it, and I wanted to go. This is where I really messed up, but you'll see why later. So then, we're going door to door, like, barely making anything. I think we made, like, three people bought stuff. We finally hit the house, and I'm like, whoa. Like, I finally come to a realization. I'm like, am I really about to do this right now? I'm like, I don't know. But my friend was like, well, you're the one that, and I'm like, yeah, no, we're going, like, we're doing this. I want to see what's going on. So then we're going up to the door, and I'm like, this is weird. Like, it was just like, there was no cars in the driveway. Like, it was just such a boring, plain house. And I was like, yeah, like, this is just, it didn't look welcoming. We ring the doorbell, or I ring the doorbell, because my friend's literally behind me, standing like this, looking down, like, not even wanting to look at this guy. And I have the pamphlet, like the, like, sex offender pamphlet right here. And then, like, I have it on top of the cookie dough orders, because, people want to see what they want to buy. I ring the doorbell. No answer. I'm like, don't let this flop. Like, don't let this flop. Because I was thinking of two things. One, I could either just leave now, like, ring the doorbell and leave, because I was starting to get a little nervous. I'm like, okay, like, was this the greatest idea? Should I have been doing this? And, of course, I think about this last minute, Or I could either potentially almost get kidnapped, but then escape, and then have a really cool fucking story to tell at school and tell all my friends, you know what I mean? That did not happen, but my dumbass decides to go with story number 2, risking my health and everything to try and seem cool in front of my 5th grade, like, friends. Like, ew, that's so pathetic. I would definitely not hit that house now, but me being the dumb, ugly, stupid kid I was in 5th grade, of course I went to the house. 5th grade was a very interesting year. So then, I ring it again, me being the annoying person I am, and he opens it. Like, on the second ring, like, as soon as I hit it, he opens it. And I remembered, so it's the door, and then he had a screen door. So he opens the door, like, I hear it opening, I'm like, oh god, I'm starting to tense up. And then my friend, like, I look back, and, like, he's just, like, not even looking. Like, he's just like, please, let this be over now. Riley, why do you drag me into this? Why am I friends with someone like you? And the door opens. And I'm like, hi, how are you today? And then he was like, good, good, like, why? And, like, he's already giving me kind of weird vibes, but, I mean, of course, because I knew, like, his backstory with the whole, like, sex offender thing. I'm like, would you like to buy some cookie dough? I'm, like, going door to door with my friend, you know, telling him the whole thing, and he was like, well, he opens the door. And he was like, well, what are your options? And at this very moment, I realized I fucked up by what? Bringing the pamphlet. Because I decided that instead of putting it in my pocket as soon as I reached the house, I put it on top of the cookie dough order that had money, the options and all that, and on top is this fucking sex offender pamphlet because I'm trying to find this guy to sell cookie dough to. Like, what? Like, okay. So then he was like, well, what are your options? And I'm not even thinking because I'm like, okay, I kind of want to get this over with now. Like, he wasn't being, like, weird. He wasn't, like, smirking. You know, like, like, he was kind of giving off a weird vibe, but nothing, like, crazy. But I get scared and think about the worst with everything. So then I kind of back up a little bit and, like, you know, because he comes outside. I go, like, I'm not even thinking at this point. Like, I feel like I blacked out for a minute or something. But I forget that the pamphlet, like, is on top of the cookie dough order. And I go to open it to get the options, and it just fucking falls out onto the ground. The sex offender pamphlet that had his mugshot and everything about him. Past charges, like, everything. And I remember as soon as I saw that thing drop, I picked it up real quick and just think of it like this. I'm, like, trying to, you know, like, do this. I'm, like, opening the order. It literally falls. And I go and pick it up real quick, and I'm like, still trying to carry on the conversation, stuttering. I'm like, you know, trying to put it in my pocket. Here's a list of the things. He didn't say a word, and I was like, oh, thank God. And I'm like, here's a list of the options, and then he takes the paper from me and, like, is just looking, or, like, the little magazine thingy. And he goes to, like, look through things, and, like, kind of took him a minute. I'm like, okay, can you hurry up? I kind of want to go now. He was like, yeah, I'd like to buy, like, the chocolate chip, like, you know, cookie dough. And I'm like, okay. So then, you know, he gives me the money and all that, and this is when I kind of started freaking out again. Because he gives me the money, and as soon as he gives me the money, you know, he goes to shake my hand. I'm not freaked out about this, you know, I mean, it's just, he's trying to be fair, like, you know, here, like, thank you, like, I appreciate it, you know, I'm not trying to think weird of this. And he was like, also, have you guys, like, heard anything about me moving in, or, like, goes on to talk about that. Like, he's like, has there been any word coming around since I've came in, like, you know, this neighborhood, because I'm new here? And, like, I freeze up, because I have the fucking pamphlet that warns the neighborhood about this guy that I decided to go sell fucking cookie dough to. Yeah, so I look at my friend, like, I look back, and, like, my friend lives 20 minutes away, like, how are they gonna know? Like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I look at my friend, and I look back, like, trying to smile and, like, play it off, like, no, what do you mean? Like, I'm like, oh, well, you're new here, and then he was like, yeah, like, I just moved in, and he was like, but you haven't, like, heard anything, you know, nothing's been going on. I'm like, no, like, you know, and I could feel myself shaking and getting red, because, like, when I'm in an awkward or nervous situation, I'm literally a tomato, like, fucking tomato. And I'm like, oh no, like, I haven't, like, you know, and, like, I feel like he could tell I was lying or something, but I'm the dumbass that decided to go there. Why? Don't know. So then he's like, alright, well, thank you, and I'm like, yeah, in a couple weeks it'll come. Okay. Fast forward a couple weeks, you know, I'm starting to get nervous because I got the orders in, and now I have to go, give it to him. And I'm with my grandma, and I told her about the story and everything. I tell her last minute, like, while we're on our way to go into the neighborhood, I'm like, oh yeah, this is the guy that was also the sex offender that was on the pamphlet. Because then I showed her the pamphlet when I got home. And she looks at me, and she's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I sold cookie dough to a sex offender. She was like, what? And I'm like, yeah. And then she was like, why? And I was like, because I wanted to see, like, you know, about him. And, like, she just kind of looks at me like, you're a fuck up. Like, what? Like, no, I'm just kidding. She was just like, whatever, let's just get this over with. And, you know, like, she's, like, I could tell she's trying not to laugh, though. Like, she knows it was funny. She knows it was a good idea. I'm just kidding, no. If she was with me, we definitely wouldn't have went to it. Or if she saw the pamphlet, yeah. No. I go up to the door again, starting to get the nervous tings, because, you know, the house is, like, you know, weird. It's not, like, decorative or, you know, anything like that. I ring the doorbell, and this time, you know, he answers it fast. And I'm like, hi, here's your cookie dough that you ordered like 3 weeks ago or whatever. And then he was like, oh, okay, thank you. And, you know, he comes outside to get it. And then he was like, you know, and I really appreciate you still coming to my house to offer me, you know, like this while this is going on. Exactly that. Like, at this point, I'm literally like, what? Like, I'm like, whoa. I'm like, I don't know what to say to this, because it was something like that, you know. It was 5th grade. I'm not gonna remember exactly what he said, but it was something along what I just said, you know. I was like, whoa. I was like, I don't know. I just remember, like, looking at my grandma, like, I got all red again, and, like, I looked at my grandma, and she was like, yeah, you know, no problem, like, you know. Like, my grandma was just like, no, like, we're just going door to door, you know, just everyone has a chance to get, like, cookie dough. Like, what the fuck? Like, my grandma didn't know what to say either. She was like, yeah, no, like, I really appreciate it, you know, with, you know. And I'm, like, looking at him like, can we just go now? Like, I'm done. Like, I am so done at this point. And, I mean, I don't know. I mean, he was really nice, you know. He was just a chill guy. I would never go to his house again, you know, but he was being chill. He wasn't being, like, weird, like, too weird. He wasn't like, oh, you guys can come in. Like, you know, like, he was just being, like, genuine, you know. He still is, like, you know, you're still a sex offender, you know. You're still gonna have that, like, weird, mentality about people like that. But yeah, I remember we got back in the car, my grandma just started laughing. She was like, that was the most awkwardest thing ever. Riley, why do you get us in those, like, situations? And I was like, I don't know. It was really weird. So yeah, that's my story about how I sold cookie dough to a sex offender. It was really weird. But I don't know, because he lives literally, like, I think 3 minutes walking right now. And I don't know if he still lives there, though. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know if he still lives there. You know, this was 5th grade, you know, like 4 years ago, so I don't know. Who knows if he still lives there. I sold cookie dough to a sex offender. It was pretty weird. Of course, you know, my dumb self decided to do that. But if you guys did enjoy this video, I really hope you guys give it a thumbs up. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'm gonna have more story times, you know, especially 5th grade, because 5th grade was one of my most interesting years, when it comes to, like, life-threatening shit. But yeah, please make sure to give this a thumbs up. I hope to see you guys in my next video, and yeah, bye guys.